I want to ask you about the idea that the government cannot establish religion. And I want to ask you whether that means, A, that the government cannot declare a national religion. In other words, we can't be like Great Britain, an Anglican country. Or does it mean that the government can extend no preference to religion in any circumstances? If it means the latter, then I want to ask you this. If the government were to give a subsidy, let's say, to the farmers, is it establishing farming as our national occupation? Yes or no?
Actually, it's establishing farming and supporting it in a way that's no longer merited in our economy. But it's not the same thing, because the Constitution doesn't say anything prohibiting subsidies to farmers. You might think it is foolish to subsidize farmers, but there is nothing in the Constitution that prevents an unwise Congress or a wise Congress from doing it. There is something in the Constitution that prohibits establishing a single religion, or as is mostly the case in Europe now, providing money for several religions. All of these things arise once you start giving support to religion. It would require absolutely equal treatment.
Well, first of all, that's simply not true. A good example would be that our campuses, our states, and our federal government, for example, have all kinds of multicultural programs that are aimed, for example, at taking into account the contributions of different minority and racial and ethnic groups. Now, you could right away say, wait a minute, if we start down this road, where do we stop? Then you find some eccentric group and say, well, we have to fund these crazy people too. And the fact of the matter is, no. You don't always have to go all the way down the slippery slope. That's why we have a democratic debate. We make judgments about where we decide to draw the line. That's what we do with the farmers. We say, you know what, we're going to give the farmers a subsidy, but only up to this point. Or no, we're not going to subsidize travel agents, even though all of them or many of them have been put out of a job by the internet. So just because we subsidize the farmers, you can't say we're going to have to subsidize the travel agents. The fact of the matter is, we can decide yes over here and no over there. Yes, we're going to have a statue of Moses, but no, we're going to have to say no, for example, to Ali or Buddha, because their influence on American history has been much more tangential. So if it all comes down to the slippery slope argument, there are answers to that argument. But see, I think, and what seems clearly emerging in this debate, that these are all fake arguments. This isn't your real reason. You're saying there's a slippery slope pragmatic argument over here, and there's a better case for Tom Paine over there. But the bottom line is that religion should be forbidden from the outset, regardless of any arguments. Even if there were plenty of good arguments in favor of Jesus, you still don't want him in there. And your only reason is you keep chanting the same phrase from the Constitution when it is the meaning of that phrase that is up for discussion. My point about the farmers isn't that the farmers are in a different status than religion. Of course they are. I'm asking, what is the meaning of the word establishment?